Hello, everybody. It's Willie
And Renee.
and Renee. That's right.
I'm Willie.
That's right. And I'm sometimes Renee. Yes, and we're back with another segment of the Neals, and we're continuing our conversation about dating later on in life, or getting to know people later on in life, whatever the case may be. And so today we're going to talk about the importance of knowing exactly who you want and what you want from the relationship. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'll start it. For me, even though, as I told you earlier in some other past video, was that I wasn't necessarily looking for a mate at the time that I met Willie. I had sort of just run its course, like I'm good. I had been divorced for 20 years, raised the girls, done whatever, and, had my private practice, which was really fulfilling with me. And I am a speaker. And so I had the opportunity, praise God, to speak and do workshops and things because I'm also a chaplain all over the world in lots of different places. And so I was just enjoying that. But what I had done, it was about 20 years before, I had made a list. And that is something that I feel is so important. And in my practice, I do tell my clients, if you're looking for somebody, it is important that you make a list. And that list basically is what are the things that are negotiable, that are non negotiable of what I want in a mate. And so I had made that list. And some of the things on that list was he had to be a Christian. I didn't want baby mama drama. The kids needed to be older, in life. I also wanted him to have two girls or girls as well, because I felt like that may be, a conflict there. I wanted somebody in that had been in the military, because I felt like they were very adventurous and adjust easy to different situations, all of those things. I wanted someone who was a good communicator. They didn't have to be as extroverted or, whatever as me, but that we were able to communicate. I wanted someone who had dealt with their issues and who had not just got out of a relationship and getting into another relationship right away. I sort of didn't want anyone who had cheated before, even if they had, dealt with that issue. But that was something I didn't want to have to keep on my radar. Is this his MO or whatever? Lots of different things. And I wanted them to be able to have a good relationship with whoever they had been married to in the past. I didn't want it a bad seed and where they're, coming around and throwing, a battery in our window and, whatever the case may be. I wanted to where, that was sort of settled and they were good, and if they were still dealing with the kids, that they were able to do that in a positive way. Um, I didn't mind if the person had passed, but if they had, I wanted them to have dealt with that. I also wanted them to be able to say the things that they could have done differently in the relationship, to own their part of it and where they've grown or what they're trying to do. What I did do also was I like a darker skinned man. I like a big man. Yes, tall, big. Well, I'm short, so lots of everybody's taller than me. But I wanted that, who had a certain way of style, of dress, all of those things. And then I put the list before God. And he let me know that some of those things that were on my list, because I just named a few, I had like 52 things on my list. Okay. He let me know, no, some of those things are not, excuse me, are not important. Those are not things. And also with just say like I wanted a Christian. What did a Christian look like? That was important. So I also went back with each one of the things that I had of why do I want that? Is that just an issue that I have? And if it's so, why? So that I didn't put that on the next person. is, because I did. If he's light, I ain't even talking to him. No, that was out of an issue that I had a long time ago in life. And so God let me know, no. And with the Christianity, some people are Christian that, they only, go to church at Christmas or Easter, and they just try to live right, or I don't do any of that at all. I just believe in a higher power, but that's my Christianity, whatever that level is. Or if it's somebody who, has to be at church every time the church door opens and, whatever, and they're involved in every ministry in the church and doing this, So you need to be able to describe what Christianity looks like. Even with me talking about, I wanted a taller, a bigger person, tall, big, handsome Black man, what was that about? Where did that come from? Because God may choose to say no, it may not come in that package. Are you just going to turn that off because of that? Because he let me know that it was out of my issue. It wasn't just that that was my flavor. And if that's my flavor, that's okay. And so I had to deal with those different things. So for me and for anybody, I suggest it for everybody is make a list, even if it's not written down like mine was and put in a journal. You need to be able to know. And what I did with my list is, oh, and about the military, that was very interesting. That I wanted the military, and God let me know doesn't necessarily have to be in the military. It just needs to be somebody who has a sense of adventure and who's, world read, all of those kind of things, which really happened to be. He wasn't in the military, but he dealt with the government. He's lived all over, in different places because of his, his position that he had. And I was like, oh, okay. Hadn't thought about that, type thing. But what I did do, I had to make a commitment to the list because I had held it up before God and God had showed me this is the things. So I would not compromise. I would check off that list. And if that person, if that man did not own up to those, I mean, did not have some of those things on the list, I did not compromise on that. And I think sometimes we do that. Well, I can accept that, or well, this, that, and the other. No, that's if you're doing it in your own might and power. But if you're really connected with God and say, God, I want you to choose the mate for me. These are the things that you said that I needed on the list. These are things that you said that I don't need on the list. Then I was going to go by that. And praise God, I mean, he checked every single thing, but it took 20 years. There you go. Don't know. May not take you that long. Whatever. God works in all kinds of ways. But for me, I needed to make sure. And some people look like, oh, they're so great. Oh, they're so good. Nope. 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 If they did not follow what the example, I mean, the outline that God gave for me, then they were not the person for me. What do you think about that? I know you had a mental
Well,
list.
I
Mhm.
think, like you're saying, what is for you is for you, and
Mhm.
how it comes to you, how it comes. But for me personally, I never had put a list together. Maybe I wasn't astute enough to do it, and didn't
Mhm.
had never even thought about it.
Mhm.
And even to this day, I believe that once you pray about it, and you're the try to do what is right in the
Mhm.
Lord's eye, and you say it's gonna come. The Lord will
Mhm.
see fit,
Mhm.
and that's one of the things that I think that position I put myself in, because when it came to my finding you, it was
Mhm.
never a time where I put myself in the position of thinking that, well, Lord, I prayed about it, and you have to give me this and that, and
Mhm.
therefore, then I know it's you.
Mhm.
I trust the Lord in saying, that I'm gonna pray about it. I'm gonna leave it in His hands, and things are gonna happen when it's supposed to.
Mhm.
And it's sort of like when I met you, it was more in line with, I didn't have an idea of what I wanted and what it should be. I just knew that what type of person I am.
Mhm.
I am a person who can get along well with others, but I enjoy certain things, and that person would be required to enjoy some of those things. I'm not gonna say that a person have to, especially as you get older, accept everything there is about you,
Right.
or that you see it a certain way, or from a spiritual standpoint, you're the type that every time the church is open, I'm being on the teams, different teams at the church and stuff. And simply because I may not be at that position, or a man may not be at that position, it still doesn't change the fact that that person is probably a good person, or could be a good person. But that person has to present themselves in that way. And I think that that's the way that I was looking at it, in the sense that the Lord was going to bless me with the right person at the right time, because of who I am, because of my connection with Him, my spirituality. Therefore, I pray that the Lord would just make me a better person. And my being a better person is that He's not going to send me a crazy person to deal with, and He's going to make it so that for me, I can accept whatever it is. Like I say, I may not like certain things you fix, I may not eat the way you eat, but because of my connection with the Lord, I am gonna like it. I am gonna eat it and accept it, simply because that I want to please you, because the Lord has blessed me, and I'm being blessed by accepting everything that the Lord has given me at the right time. And I look at how things are happening in life, and you say, well, why didn't it happen when you wanted it to, or the way that you wanted it to? But if you really sit back and look at it, it did happen the way it was supposed to. And I can look at the thing and say, how in the world certain jobs that I've applied for. And I said, with my qualifications, there's no doubt in my mind that is mine. And then when I don't get it, you kind of question yourself, is there really a God? I prayed about this here. Why is not being answered? But then when you get it something differently, and you sit back and look at it, you say, I am so thankful and grateful that He didn't give me what I wanted at that time. And the same could hold true for an individual, for a relationship. Just because a woman look a certain way, or a man look a certain way, or act a certain way at that particular time, that probably is not for you if it doesn't come to you. And that's something that we have to accept, that the Lord brings stuff to us at the right time, especially if you are the Christian that most folk, well, a lot of folks say they are, and you believe that the Lord will do it in His own time and make it right. Accept that. Accept the way the Lord is bringing it to you. And that however it is, you're not the type person that, regardless, be in a relationship, it's still going to be my way. No, it's the Lord's way in that relationship. It's a give and take, because the Lord says, He wants us to be happy with one another, and not, as you get older, start doing all that foolishness of not getting along. Why not? You can pray about it. You have an issue with something, get on your knees and pray about it, and believe that God is going to make it right for you because of who you are. And I think that's where we should be as you get older. You just have to be a person. I'm going to say you have to have a list or not have a list, but you have to be a praying person and believing that all is working for good.
For me, as you see, we approached it differently, sort of the same, but differently. He knew God was going to work it out. I did too. But for me and for women especially, I feel like the list is important. And the reason why is we as women, we compromise a lot. And but he just needs a lot of love. He just ain't have a dad in his life. We can make a lot of excuses. And for us, anybody that we spend a whole lot of time with, we can fall in love with them. I don't care who it is. And we spend enough time and hear their story and all those kinds of things. And sometimes we take God out of that. Like we think it's God, but we like, yeah, well, I could do that. That's not a deal breaker for me. I understand, that he's a drug addict or whatever. I'm saying something extreme, but that he's a drug addict. But, I can help him with that. And God loves everybody and all of those things. We tend to be a little more forgiving, if that's the proper word, or a little more accepting, and feel like that our love can just supersede everything. And so we will do the compromising. And so I still feel strongly, especially for the women, that we need to hold that up before God, make that list, go over it, look at it, determine, okay, God, I have got to do what you have instructed for me to do, you know. And for men, it is a little bit different. I agree with you, honey, that it is different. Um, but I know, even like I said, even though you didn't have a list, mentally you had a list. And I'll say that is because you wanted somebody who was drama free, who didn't have, a whole lot of outside issues going on. You didn't necessarily write it down. You were, God, you prayed about it, and God, prevailed all of those things. But from even talking to you, which we're going to talk about next, is the communication. You had certain criteria, like, look, I don't want somebody, who's always upset about everything, and everything is a situation and all of this, and her family is all over the place, all of those kind of things. Let you speak
I
on that.
think that's true. I mean, from my standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider it a list,
Mm-hmm.
but it's certain things that I said, have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say,
Mm-hmm.
like drama.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type where I need to lock every door in my house because some knucklehead might come in here that you used to date
Right, right.
or you was married
Married
to,
to,
anything
right.
like that. I want to be able to be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
in whatever situation I'm in, that I have to trust that, your family is not going to be
Mm-hmm.
get upset
Mm-hmm.
because of what I
Mm-hmm.
may consider the least thing that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Mm-hmm.
they're,
Right.
going off because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just,
Mm-hmm.
there's certain things that I think that men, you have it in your mind, at least
Mm-hmm.
me, I had it in
Mm-hmm.
my mind that, it's certain compromises I cannot accept.
Right, right.
But
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's important to express those.
Yeah,
It's
yes,
not
yes.
something that is going to be hidden that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to find out later on. You're going to know, in order for it to work, a person have to be truthful, have to be themselves.
Right,
Don't
right.
send your representative. Be yourself.
I love that statement. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so the list is important, or the must-haves or can't have, whatever the case may be, whenever you're considering, getting out there, especially older in life. We have lots of stuff going on. We have lots of plates spinning, and you need somebody who's going to help you spin those plates with you, those different circumstances and things in life. So next time we're going to be talking about communicating and how to communicate, the expectations, all of those things. Okay. Sounds good. Hey, Willie, do you have some words of wisdom for us today? I like saying that. Willie's words of wisdom.
Well, one thing that I think about is the current situation that we're in now.
Mhm,
I was listening to something similar to a newscast, or
mhm,
they were talking about whether or not we should or should not boycott. For instance,
mm, mm,
a lot of folk now are saying we're supposed to boycott Target
mhm,
starting February 1st.
mhm,
And the thing that I think is important is like this young lady, Tabitha Brown, she was on there and she was emphasizing the fact that we should not boycott simply because of all the different Black businesses that are going to be hurt by it. Mm. And that is something to think about, that there's so many different Black businesses that do contract with Walmart and Target and different companies. But to me, I think it should be a point where we as a people take it upon ourselves that, that's it. Hmm. There's avenues, for instance, Tabitha Brown. If you like certain seasonings that that she sells, go to her website, buy it directly from her. Cut out those middle people of Target and so forth, and just buy it from her. And that in itself, I think, will give her some comfort in knowing that she can still have a business. We as Black folk will support her. Mm-hmm. We don't have to support Target, but we're supporting her. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we have to do. I agree with it, but I think that we do have to have an end game. What are we wanting with the boycott? Are we wanting to just hold on to our money, or are we just saying, well, Target, there's certain conditions you need to reach in order for us to come back to you? I think that's something that need to be said and need to be thought out on how we're going to, what is the end game they were wanting from any kind of boycott. Right. And we knew what the end game was with the most famous boycott was the buses in Montgomery. We knew what it was that we were working towards. And now we can look back and say, how in the world did all those people walk every day, rain or shine, they were still doing it. I'm not going to ride the bus. And I think that us, it's my money. I don't have to spend it at Target or any place. There's so many different stores that sell the same items, or nowadays, especially, you can go online. And I think that's what we should do. Right. Go online and buy from Tabitha Brown or different people. Go directly, I haven't done it, and I'm not sure how to go about it, but Black folk, we need to know who are a real Black company and who's selling what, so that we can have a chance to get it from them.
Right. We used to, just to say this, my family and I, we used to always have Black Christmas, where we bought Black. All the gifts, all of the wrapping paper, everything, we did that. We would look it up. And Essence magazine used to have Black-owned business, whatever. I'm sure they have it online or something. But I totally agree with you. Is cut out the middleman, and that speaks louder than words. My grandmother had the saying of, if you can't hear me, you can feel me. And they can't hear us that, we matter, and our dollars matter. And we need to have provisions for DEI and those different things, because if they're not forced to do, they may not do. But they can't hear that, but they can feel it with our dollars, because we put a whole lot in the community. Whatever you think, write it down, make comments, let us hear what you think. And even with our conversations about relationships, and as I said, the different things we're going to be talking about, not just relationships, but lots of other stuff, write in the comment what you would like to hear, what you think about our videos and all of those great things, huh? We don't really have to tell people our age, as I say, to subscribe, because if they want to subscribe, what they gonna do, baby?
They will subscribe.
That's it. Y'all will subscribe. And if you want to share this comment, we don't have to tell you to share. You're gonna do what?
Yeah. Please share it. We are asking.
Like that. He said, yes, I'm asking. We're asking to share. Okay, y'all have a very blessed day until the next time.